It is Adrelian here, back with another Minecraft map. And today is something special. I recently got contacted by one of the map makers, and it was the map maker who created the Minecraft map Find the Button, the Carlin collection. And they published that under the name of Duxim Carlin. I was asked if I want to play another map of them. And they go by the name of gallivantingAristocrat now. They asked me if I wanted to play a Minecraft map, which was a tribute map for an old friend of them. So I will give you a little bit of backstory about the Minecraft map. Way back in 2017, they had a friend by the name of Scarlet Renegade. She was amazing. They met one another on a server by the name of MC GlassDragon, and they became the best friends soon after. They carved a home for themselves upon the server and then called it the Heaven. I don't know if it's heaven or haven, but pronunciation is otherwise still fine. This map marks the first time it will be open to the public. She passed away that November, just a couple of months later. Her younger brother joined the server from time to time, and so he was the one to tell me. It was a devastating blow, one I've yet to truly move on from. The server itself shut down about a month later, and I managed to get my hands on the world file in the years following. This world is an edited version of that one that I wired up with commands and function files to give you a guided tour of the home that we built together. The anniversary of her passing is coming up, it says here, but it was the 17th of November. My condolences. So they had time and they made this tribute map. The other requests are about how you play it, and so they hope I enjoy it. And yeah, we'll see about this tour anyway. So I will show you the map now. This is the Haven. Here we are. Hey, before you enter, check your render distance. I did that. Yes, it is. Around the Haven you'll spy gold blocks on the ground. Each gold block contains a different set of dialogue. Like this one. When you don't see a cont at the bottom, you can proceed to the next gold block. There's one over there now. You see it? Try it out. Just like that. Yeah, alright. There's only one more thing to check before we get started. Did you read the map description when downloading? Yes, I did. Alright. Step on the gold block when you're ready. Welcome to the Haven. Let's call it the Haven. At least the entrance of it. We kept our tree farm outside the Haven itself, as a way to try to obscure the way in. We were very big on the idea of not letting anyone else know where we were. GlassDragon wasn't a big server per se, but it was sizable enough that we were worried somebody would stumble upon us. It's funny, we never really used the entrance. When we went out for exploring, we'd always come back around one of the other sides, just jump down in the water. As a result, as I'm sure you can see, the entrance got a little bit overgrown. When you're ready, go ahead, walk in. You will see the next gold block there. Aha! So you just blocked it off. Which it makes sense, it's kind of funny. Alright. And here we are. The Haven proper. Beautiful, isn't it? We built it around this little pond. Scarlet found it. She built her house, the big dark oak cobble house. I assume it's the left one. First, and then I joined with my house, the white wool one. White wool. And everything else came afterwards once we were settled. Honestly, we didn't leave much pond in the end. By the end. Looking back on it, we colonized nearly the whole thing with our bridges and buildings and whatnot. I'm sure you're noticing how much birch we use. That's because this pond is in a birch forest biome. The place we be going on this tour, in no particular order, includes my house, Scarlett's house, the Squid's brothers' enclosure, the pet house, the farm, the conversation cave, the talking corner, the mop pans, the hall of death, and a couple smaller spots of note. Our first stop on the tour shall be my house. Walk down the path, take the first left, and the gold block should be just indoors. GA's house. What a lovely little house. Oh, you put the stuff in there as well? That's probably from the World Fire, but still, that's kind of funny. So this here was my house back then. Note the contents of the chest by the doors. I was not exactly the most organized person back then. I'm still not, but at least I'm better at it than I was then. I sort out my weapons and my valuables from the rest now. Alright, so you have your priorities straight. That's nice. You know what else is back? You know what else I was bad at back then? Building. I'm sure you're looking around my one-room house and thinking, hey, that's not that bad for a 13-year-old. It could be much worse, but that's only because of Scarlett's influence, both terms of decor. I definitely wouldn't have put up a painting up if I didn't see that Scarlett did it in her house. And the terms of, she actually helped me make it not look like an 8-year-old built it. She was a lot better at building than I was. She had a natural eye for design, the carpet, the roof, the birch log framing for the house. That was all her doing. Before her remodeling, it was basically just a birch box of planks. In fact, she's the very reason I actually have the knowledge to make all the stuff I do now. I wanted to be like her. I wanted to learn how to build well. And, well, eventually that paid off. One thing led to another, and I ended up in map making circles and learning how to not only build but also program fully functional maps. There's a hint of sadness in that too. I look at all that she's built, then I see that I've improved beyond it. It's bittersweet. Really. I know she'd be proud of me, given that I've made it this far, but it's still a bit upsetting given that she's the one who led me down this path. I wish she still was around to see it, you know? Yeah, I can understand. Anyways, our next step is the Squid Brothers enclosure. Exit my house, go straight for a bit, then turn right. It's the blue wool glass monstrosity. You can't miss it. Aha! Welcome to the house of the Squidarian and Squidillan. Are they here? They are. Alright, sorry. Welcome to the home of Squidarian and Squidillan, the two Squid brothers. We sectioned off the two from the brethren to keep them safe from harm, and sure paid off. There were originally about 5 or so squid in this pond, but the other 3 just sorta disappeared. It could have been they spawned or that they made their way onto land somehow, or something else entirely. But Squidarian and Squidillan stayed safe. If you can't tell, I was the one who built the enclosure. We had some excess blue wool and I thought it would look nice. It didn't look nice. I still think their names are utterly genius though. There's not much more to say about these two, so let's move on. Your next stop will be across the pond, the quartz house with the unfinished roof. Huh. I actually didn't notice that. Do I want to explore? Not really, because I want to follow the line. There's a chest here. Ooh, rowboats. The ultimate fishing spot. Alright. Ooh. Jewel, Mac, Mao. Mac. Creston. Maggie, May, Dandy and Sky, and we have Toast. And here we have the unfinished pet house. Huh. This is the midway through remodeling. We never did finish it. Both of the materials left were from the Nether, and I was the one who went there to farm for materials like the quartz and the nether brick stuff. That was a bit boring after a while, so I took a break from it and, well, never went back. All of the pets here were Scarlets, bearing Toast there in the middle. Toast was both our pet, because you can tame a rabbit like you can a wolf or a parrot. My pets never really lasted long. I took them with me everywhere I went, and they tended to die while I was out adventuring. Well, I know that feeling. When I got the world file, I couldn't find any of my current unnamed pets. Presumably, they're out there sitting in a cave or some distant tundra or something similar, waiting for me to get in rather distance for them so they can teleport to me. Again, with the exception of Toast, all of our names here were her ID. Toast, I found out that you could actually change the pattern of the rabbit to a special one if you named Toast. Each of her pet names had some sort of significant, mainly puns, through I think one of the parrots named after some other bird somewhere. My favorite one is Creston, as one Creston's awesome. Okay. That's not the original Sky, by the way. The first Sky was sitting too close by on a day when I knocked Scarlet into the water. We were messing around and the poor thing had to be put down. Wouldn't stop attacking me. Rip Sky 1, long live Sky 2. Sky. Ah! Mac. Jewel. Do I know any birds called that? No, I don't. Moving on. Our next stop is a small one. There's a small hole with a trapdoor in it, just outside the pet house. It's right to your right. Haha! Jeremy's hole in the ground? Okay, well, that's an interesting name. Jeremy was a zombie pigman who lived in a hole in the ground. I killed Jeremy by switching the world to peaceful so no monsters would try to attack you while you're going through the door. And that, my friend, is the tale of Jeremy the zombie pigman. If you go right to the pet house, you'll see an incomplete nether portal. That's the next stop. Rip Jeremy. What the hell? Here we have our nether portal. Due to an influx of zombie pigmen, please keep the portal unless you're using... Oh, okay, wow. Okay. And here we have our nether portal. It's incomplete because the haven kept ending up with zombie pigmen wandering about the place, coming through the portal. Though I probably don't need to say it that well, considering that's exactly what the sign says. Even with the sign, I kept forgetting to unlight it after I was done in the nether. The nether itself wasn't all that interesting, so you aren't missing out on much. It wasn't there in the world file, so I didn't bother with relighting it. Oh yeah. If you're interested in the description, think completely cobble box with iron door on a tiny netherrack island in the middle of an ocean of lava with a single block cobblestone path leading away. Alright. Cobble box. Iron door. Tiny netherrack island. Lava. Cobblestone? Okay. Gotcha. Looking back on it, I realized that I didn't need to break the frame, so we could just punch the portal itself and just relit it. It's funny how things you see in hindsight, it seems so obvious now. The next stop is the farm. It's right behind you up the stairs. Well, the sugarcane farm. Here we are. We have our farm over the water. Which doesn't make sense because you still need water for the farm. Ah, you do. Okay, I was wondering about that. After a certain point making the mob farm, this whole farm became just a formality of sorts. We no longer ate the food from here And by that point, Scarlet had enough bookshelves for a full enchanting table. Once we had a steady supply of cooked steak and pork chops, we basically never went up those stairs again. Okay, makes sense. I'm sure you saw the sugarcane farm under here on the way up. Yeah, in one of our talks, she told me that there was a sugarcane field about 5 or so minutes from where she lived. And that very rarely, maybe once or twice a year, I think, the farmers who owned it would set it on fire. Supposedly that sort of thing is really bad for the people who live near it, and it's largely getting discontinued due to the health reasons. But she wasn't worried about any of that. The days surrounding the cane burning were special to her because supposedly it smelled really good. I passed a couple of fields on a family trip many years back, but I was never in the area for when they burned them, so I'll just have to take her word for it. You mean like real life? I guess. I assume that it smelled sweet given that it's sugarcane and how much she loved the smell, but I could easily be wrong. Moving on, the next stop on the tour would be the mob farm. Head down the stairs, go to the path that goes under the farm, turn left, you should reach an entrance that looks like a birch mineshaft. Alright. Haha! The birch mineshaft. And here, as you can see, the mob farm. I was thinking something else about a mob farm, but alright, as you sure noticed, the pens are that sparse, but they weren't always that way. They used to be, these little fences were stuffed with as many mobs as you could fit in an entity cramming. For cows, sheep, chicken and pigs, the rabbits and horse pens are the same. Okay. The only reason that's not the case anymore is because Caustic, the server owner, noticed the server lag rate shut up when Scarlet or I was on the server, and he started looking into, I wonder why the server is lagging when one of those is online. It turns out Minecraft doesn't like it when you have many entities in a small space. Yep. Caustic wasn't really upset with this, but he did ask us to thin out the numbers, which we did. On one hand, it got us a lot of food, pork chop, beef, chicken, etc. But on the other hand, it really tanked our wool production rate. No longer were the days of building walls and buildings from wool. Either way, it was fun while it lasted. Okay. Alright, we're getting to the really interesting ones. Exit the mob farm, take the first left, and then the Hall of Death. But I just want to see... You have a skeleton horse in here. That's actually pretty dope. You have skeleton horses. Huh. Call a sheep. That's really funny. Love to see it. Alright. What the hell is this? Oh, this here is the Hall of Deaths. A place to record our plentiful deaths over the course of the server. At least the ones we actually remember to write. We weren't exactly good at writing every death down, but you can see a good sample of them. We did remember here on the walls. The red wolves were Scarlet's, the purple ones were mine. Red was Scarlet's color because it's in her username, Scarlet Renegade. As for me, I didn't have any color in the username, so we just went with my favorite color, purple. Makes sense, so I would get lime green, which is a wool in Minecraft. Speaking of usernames, that's what the abbreviation on the sign stands for. SR is for Scarlet Renegade and GA stands for gallivantingAristocrat. That wasn't my Minecraft username, sure, but that was the name everyone knew me by. I have to admit though, the idea wasn't exactly original. The Hall of Deaths was inspired by another player further down the shore. He built one, but he gave up. About 2 days after making it, the dude was terrible at building, and yet somehow the Hall of Deaths is uglier than his. That'd be because I was in charge of building it, and well, you know how bad I was at building back then. It was awful. Feel free to look to the signs, by the way, you can make out a couple of noticeable events through the deaths they caused. You know, we were planning on adding a second floor when we had to completely fill the first one. As you can see, we never quite made it that far. From here on out, our little tour is directly across the pond. From here, head to the stairs, gardens and ice houses and head into the little cave. No, not yet. Drowned. Okay, so like that. High place, creeper, zombie. Enderman. Ah, guest. Blaze. Drowned. Oh, you killed each other. Nice. Vindicate. Blaze. Custom weapons. Flames, fire, alright. Widow skeleton. Where is prick to death? Okay. Do you remember me talking about how we wanted privacy here when I was talking about the entrance? This cave here is a product of that desire. See, we like talking to one another quite a bit actually, but less so with the rest of the server, so we made this. A way to speak to one another in private without the rest of the server hearing. Wow. I see it, don't worry, what's up? Let me know when you see it. I see it, don't worry, what's up? You know those theme park things that make food? You like Deutschland? Yeah, I like Deutschland. What if you make a teamwork like that? Like on the server? That'd be far from the haven though. Maybe we could build a mushroom biome. It's a bit too close for comfort. What if folks want? Fair. We could wall it in to make them jump over. That works for me. If you want to talk ideas once embargo leaves, sounds good to me. I'll definitely easier way to talk the way. Alright, meet me at the corner when he does. Yeah, okay. Kind of funny. Theme park. Do you remember? Yeah, we like talking to another. Okay, cool. This is a little difficult to make sense, but I explain how it works. One would start a conversation in the respective side, in the top left. The other would reply in the top left of their side. The rest of the sides will go back and forth. One way to lead. Oh yeah, I got it. Thanks to the fairy system that was based on only the most recent conversation could be seen at the time, as the other conversations were broken to make room for it. Makes sense. That means that there's no trace, no record, or any other conversation that we had here. And we had plenty. The one you see here is the last conversation we had in this cave before she passed. We did talk after that, though it wasn't the last conversation we ever had. It's just the last one we had here, so in the cave, alright. Which leads us to the final outdoor area, the talking corner. Walk out the cave, at the little brick structure. The brick structure? There we go. Huh. When nobody else was on, we didn't have any sign. We would talk, chat freely. This is the purpose of this corner. We come here when nobody else was on. We talk about Minecraft, games, music, hobbies, life in general. We talk about everything that came up. She was very nice to talk to, you know. A very interesting person, living a very interesting life. And our conversations were the highlights of my day. Well, that's nice. You know, it's always good to have a friend that you can just pour your heart into, just talk, hang out. It's always nice. We built it together, but she was the one who made it pretty. We wanted it to be a cozy little corner on the server. We could just exist in, talk in, you know, that we could be comfortable in. As time passed, we'd spend more and more time here in the cave. I really liked talking to her, and I got a feeling she felt the same about talking to me. We had a really good friendship, and it just got stronger by the day. I can only imagine where we'd be now if she hasn't passed away so soon. I sense I'm getting a little rambly about the subject, eh? It was just nice, is all. Just the two of us, talking through the nights. I miss it. I really do. I miss talking with her, sharing stories of our days, talking about the people in our lives, the events. I miss all of it. I miss her. Yeah, I understand. We should move on to our house before I get myself too worked up here, yeah? You know where it is. The big dark oak building. The only one we haven't checked out yet. Yeah, that's true. Of course we have the fishing spot, but, you know. It's probably yours. Maybe. Here we are. It's the house. Here we are, our final stop in the tour. Sort of, at least. It's not the last gold block, but it's the last building. In all honesty, this house was essentially shared between us. My house, I only visited for bed respawning purposes and to dump the stuff in the chest there. I used her furnaces, anvil, crafting table, enchanting table, mine, etc. I spent far more time here than I did in my own house, and she was more than happy to share. I'm sure you can see now how my room was inspired by her house. The carpet, the flower pots, the paintings, they're all either inspired by or placed by Scarlet. She wasn't even a full year older than me then. She wasn't even a full year older than me then, and yet, she wasn't even a full year older than me then. Okay, and yet I still looked up to her for her building and design skills because they were those of a pro compared to mine of that age. You want to head to the room directly to the right. The entrance is the next gold block. I want a short yet sneak peek. If you know what I mean. Aha. Alright. This room was the entrance to the mine. She started working on the staircase down, make it look nicer and all, but she never did finish that. She lost motivation about halfway through. I don't really blame her, and I just never went back to it. It helped with some of it, but my motivation left long before hers. There's honestly not much more to say about this mine. There's a mine shaft down there, and to the right. That's about it though. There's another room on this floor, by the bench in the main room. Okay. Mine closed until further notice. Okay. It's just a small mine. It's fine. Here's the enchanting room. It's rather enchanting, wouldn't you say? There's not much but to say about the enchanting room, is there? It's just like any other Minecraft house. Yeah, it's just an enchanting room. Only, I usually don't do the corners, because those are not necessary. And I usually either do something with it, or not at all, but you know what I mean? I think it said go up. Yep. It did. Wow. Sneak peek. Ooh, Slenderman. Anything behind it? Oh. We found something hidden already. Okay. If you look at the storage room, you'll see that she was a lot more organized than I was by a long shot. There was a chest downstairs by the door. That chest was just full of stuff yet to be sorted into this room. That's impressive, even for me now. That was something I always admired of her. Her sense of organization. I only had that rubbed. If only I had that rubbed off on me too. In addition to the passion of building. There's really one more room and that's the next one. I'll see you there. So that's this, right? Yeah. Must say. This one doesn't make any sense. I guess it's all from the same place, but... Other than that, I dig the style. And here we go. The last room is the relaxation room. It's got a lovely view though. The only window of the haven. It's got a little couch sit on a potted plant for decor, a few cool paintings, a jukebox that you can play, a selection of 4 different music discs. It's a lovely place built for the sole purpose of relaxation and sitting back. And of course, for hiding the secret room behind the paintings. You gotta keep your valuables somewhere. Sometimes when Scarlet wasn't on and I needed to do homework or something, I'd come up here, just AFK on the bench looking at the window. It was peaceful and I'd have a good memory of this room. I miss her. It's been 5 years now, going on 6. But I do. I still miss her. I don't think I'd be sitting here making this if I didn't, would I? I mean, I only knew her for just a few months on some random Minecraft server over half a decade ago. You would think that I'd have moved on by now. I never even so much as knew her name. Her real name, I mean. Well, I think that about wraps it up for the map. If you'd like to join me back at the entrance, take your time if you need. You know how much this haven means to me now, and why it does. I don't want to rush you. I see you when you're ready. Well, I did find your valuables. A notch apple. Damn. I'm not bringing anything. Yep. Wow. Yep. That's it. The haven. Hey. Thank you for everything. For playing through this. For listening to my stories. For caring enough even to be here. Thank you. If, for whatever reason, you need to contact me, you may reach me at this email address. Until then, safe travels. Thanks for playing. Free roam. That's it. That's the haven, guys. Yeah. A nice, lovely story about a Minecraft map. Well, a Minecraft server that existed that's now turned into a Minecraft map to tell a story of a past friend. It's quite nice. I'm gonna do the honors to set myself in Jeremy's hole. Because you have a new Jeremy now. Yeah. Thanks for sending the map. It was a nice story. I'm glad I've been able to tell it. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Yo dudes, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment down any ideas below.